Carl Sagan was a trailblazer in seeking out extraterrestrial life, an astronomer, planetary scientist, and science communicator. He became a familiar face during the 1980s through his award-winning PBS series Cosmos. He received many accolades throughout his esteemed career. Many might remember him as the author of Contact, upon which the movie starring Jodie Foster was based. Carl thought spirituality should be scientifically informed and that traditional religions should be abandoned. Do you suppose his views have changed given his present perspective? Let's dive in and find out. Welcome, Carl. Tell us what you now think about Creator God. Oh, that age-old question. Truthfully, it really doesn't make a difference what I think about it. It's a massive consciousness of which we are a small fractal. We're always connected, never separate. And on this side of the veil, consciousness flows freely without the blocks presented by ego, allowing for deeper insights and understanding. Funny thing, I no longer need space travel because I can travel literally anywhere I like. It's something like what was portrayed on Star Trek with their holodeck. You want to go somewhere? You think it, and you're there, having a visceral experience. Everything you want or need is available. My only complaint is it's a little too easy. Who would have thought I'd miss sparring with those who disagree with me, debating hours on end with other scientific minds about what was truth? From my new perspective, I see truth can be different person to person. Reality is what you make it. So if you choose a different reality than me, your truth will be different from mine, and that is perfectly fine. The answers are in the stars, but be careful what you wish for, because you might be overwhelmed by the answers. I've spent hours in my own hall of records reviewing past lives, many of which took place on other planets. And yes, I was present in Lemuria, one of many scientists working to advance humanity. We got a little too big for our britches, a little too much ego, and that was our downfall. We lost everything we'd built. But on the flip side, there was the excitement in the challenge of figuring it all out again. Fitting the pieces of the puzzle together perfectly to find the answers that kept us up at night. What were the questions that kept you up at night? Well, the origin of the species, that's a big one. There was a little kernel of memory left over from my Lemuria days that drove me. It's like that word that's on the tip of your tongue. You know it's there, but you just can't bring it forth. I felt it. I knew it was there, and it drove me to seek out more answers. The equipment we had available to us in my life as Sagan was pitifully inadequate when compared to what we had in Lemuria. More limited in scope. The people had not yet crossed the threshold into igniting their imaginations about the possibilities. There were some who came close, but during my time as Sagan, they had not yet evolved to that level of consciousness. In your present reality, you draw close. Major scientific breakthroughs await. Answers to what's out there are coming. Are you saying that the ETs really are going to make contact in a more grandiose fashion than they have previously? Is that what we can expect? Well, that would be giving away the plot line, but yes, there is more to come in that arena. I have to say, you've set your progress back through the ignorant cutting of education, depriving the youth the opportunity to expand their consciousness. That is a travesty. When will politicians understand that education is one of the best investments you can make? It's great folly to ignore investing in the planet and the people, for they are intertwined, a symbiotic relationship. One cannot exist without the other, and you don't need to be a scientist to understand that. No, these fools are throwing away the future for short-term gain. One day they will wake up, but unlikely in this lifetime. Until then, you will have to find ways to contend with them and expand in spite of them. Therein is a large part of the challenge of modern-day Earth. Do you spend any time with Freud? There are similarities between the two of you. Freud, yes. We've had a conversation or two. Our areas of inquiry differ, but where they meet, we can have lively conversation. Are there any famous historical figures or souls whose names we might recognize that you've connected with on the other side? Well, the always charming Maya Angelou. We are both part of the council advocating for Earth from this side. A great many souls work with us in that group, whispering in the ears of those who have an opportunity to make a difference, affecting change as much as possible on this side. We plant little seeds in the minds of the incarnated who are in a position to make a difference, and we hope those seeds will sprout and be fruitful. You must know a lot of people then. You might say that. While you're there in spirit, do you worry about the Earth? Not worry in the way that you would describe. There is concern, a deeper understanding that should the planet be destroyed, there will be ripples that affect the cosmos. And so all that can be done to intercede from this side will be done. You should not underestimate the influence that we have. However, there has been more pushback in recent times from those moving in the opposite direction, I'll say, to put it kindly. They have presented a stalwart front against our intercessions. They have managed to amass a large block of supportive, energetic beings. Are you talking about earthbound spirits who've gone down the dark path? Yes, they're a part of it. And there are the incarnated who've chosen the path of greed, regardless of consequences to people or the planet. They spend their days fighting for more control, more power, more resources without regard for those they harm. Metaphorically, you could say their hearts have shriveled up like prunes, dark and needy. There are many levels in their organization where they are organized. Some are mere serfs, while others sit at the top of the pyramid, looking down upon all that they possess and control. Cruelty and acquisition are their mainstay, without regard for the negative consequences to others. Well, Carl, we kind of went down a really dark rabbit hole. Is there a reason you're telling me this? Is this the important message you wanted to deliver? Yes, I want you to understand that when you feel or intuit that there are dark forces out there working against the light, you're not crazy. You're not making it up. It's actually true. So put that idea out of your head. Doubt acts as an anchor holding you back. Let it go. Keep moving forward on your consciousness expansion soul journey. I don't tell you these things to cause you to slip into fear, worry, and doubt. Rather, I want you to understand the dark opposition is real. It's not that you need to fear them, but knowledge is power. When you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they exist, they are a real adversary. You are better prepared to face them and take countermeasures. There is a real and ongoing battle for control of the planet. This group doesn't think small. One world order could be positive, or it could be negative, depending on who's at the top, who you give your power to. So choose wisely. Look under the surface. Don't accept the smooth talkers at face value. You would be wise to look into their soul to get a better understanding of who they are. That's confusing, Carl, because if we look at their soul, the soul is perfect. It's their ego that's pulling them down. So how does looking at their soul help? When they're incarnated, the soul and ego are interwoven. So you will see in such individuals that ego has effectively captured soul in a cage. Soul is trapped, struggling against ego to move towards the light, but ego has soul firmly confined in the dark. That's kind of a freaky image, but you see, what ego doesn't understand is they have merely cocooned the soul. And you know what happens to cocoons, don't you? Wow, that's stunning. So are you saying that at some point metamorphosis will happen and soul will take back control? That possibility does exist. Okay, so if soul stays cocooned and the body dies, are those the souls that get trapped on Earth? Yes, a great many of them. Their greatest fear is returning to the light, for then they believe they would lose control. It's not true, but that's what they believe. So, what happens to the ones who go through the metamorphosis and the soul regains control? Do they turn their lives around? It's dependent upon whether soul is able to wrest control back from ego or whether ego further spins entrapment. It's not a done deal by any means. It could go either way. But I don't tell you this to distract you with that story, merely to help you understand what is happening for those souls. Is there anything you want to share with us that we don't know or that we need to know? Well, first of all, you should know there really are visitors from the stars keeping tabs on the planet. They've always been there. Sometimes they've been you. Humanity is not yet ready to enter into a relationship with those from other planets. Not until you're able to create peace on your own planet will you be invited to connect with beings from other worlds. They do not choose to allow you to infect their world with the seeds of hatred that grow wildly and plentiful on Earth. Are you familiar with these visitors? Have you connected with them? Some are Palladians. Some are Arcturians. Others are Syrians. What is the purpose of these three groups connecting with Earth? Earth is like a science project for them, studied with fascination. They're highly evolved and do not understand the tribalism evident on the planet. They are desiring of more contact, but with all the warring factions, a visit is premature. They'll wait until the world calms down and embraces more peace and harmony. If we must wait for more peace and harmony, does that mean it will be dozens of years before we reach that state? Can you tell us about that? You are closer to a breakthrough than you think. Many of the citizens of Earth are weary of the constant fighting and are ready to participate in peace. So what do you think about the ET mania and the mysterious drones that are appearing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. We've watched that situation with some amusement because it amply demonstrates why humanity is not yet ready for contact with other planets. Some have the knee-jerk reaction of grabbing their gun and shooting. If the ETs who are keeping tabs on the planet had any doubt about whether you were ready for contact, you've erased that completely for now. There's consternation and sadness coming from outside your planet with regards to this situation. Some believe Earth will never ascend to the place where you'll be trustworthy allies. However, do not let that discourage you from continuing to reach out, seeking connection, sending love, and working on bringing peace to your world. All of those are components in moving forward into the new age of oneness, joy, peace, and love. And let's not forget the harmony. All of that is possible for Earth when humanity sets aside their knee-jerk primitive reaction in response to things they do not understand. So, Carl, can you tell me what's your favorite thing about Earth right now? Her resiliency in the face of massive devastation. The way she finds to make a big comeback. Whenever someone gives her an inch, she takes the proverbial mile, healing herself, because she has a greater purpose in sustaining life. She takes her job quite seriously, and therein lies great wisdom and power, the understanding that it takes so little for Gaia to regenerate. Give her some of those inches and watch what she does with them. That would be a wise choice for humanity. Anything else you want to say about what you appreciate about the planet now? I appreciate that despite much which has been taken from her, she still continues giving. She's the ultimate mother, supporting her family, even when it comes at great cost to her. She is steadfast. Her love is unconditional, reliable, steady, and trustworthy. There is much to love and appreciate about Gaia. What concerns do you have for Gaia? I no longer have concerns for Gaia because she has proven time and again that she is capable of sustaining. She will survive. Carl, are you happy with the legacy that you left behind? Is there anything you'd change? I can truthfully say I'm satisfied with the body of work that I contributed during my lifetime as Carl. I have no regrets. I lived life on my terms for the most part. I enjoyed it immensely, and I believe I left an ample-sized footprint behind. No man can ask for more. So is there anything you'd change about your legacy? No, no regrets. As it stands, it's perfect. I'm satisfied and pleased. Thank you, Carl. That concludes part 1 of my conversation with Carl Sagan. Watch for part 2 coming soon. If you enjoy afterlife conversations, then take a look at this playlist. You'll find conversations with Robin Gibb, Elvis, John Lennon, Amy Winehouse, Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, even Moses. Who knows what other souls are waiting in the wings to have a chat? Stay tuned for all the fun and exciting conversations. This is Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records. Until next time.